Good morning. It's Tuesday, and sorry. I want to just start off by saying thank you to the 14 people that yesterday went into the Pear Deck and answered the questions in the Pear Deck. I was really happy to see that 14 people joined us and did the work. So I'm excited about today because I know that those same 14 people, hopefully more, will do today's Pear Deck. I think it was kind of easy, if I'm being honest, yesterday, and talking to Damon also, who did it, he felt it was easy too, so that was great. There were a couple people who were having a little trouble, but it was a first day, and that's okay. So today is going to be something similar, where we're going to be graphing points on the coordinate grid. Good morning, Michael. And the difference, though, is we're doing the reverse. I'm going to have points on the grid. Good morning, Jocelyn and Freddie. I'm going to have points on the grid, and then you have to tell me where is it. So it's kind of like, well, you're telling me the directions of how to get to those spots. Good morning, Brian and Jesslyn. And Layla. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our normal stuff here. Thank you for those who are using that chat box. Go ahead and use that for questions or comments about what we're doing. It's not daylight savings time, Freddie. That already happened. Good morning, Emily. All right, and our objective today is the same standard we've been working on. But instead of plotting the points, today we're going to be describing the points. So describing how to get there. I played Battleship yesterday just because I wanted to kind of do what we were learning about in math. So if you have Battleship, I encourage you to play with that because it relates to math, and you can even justify yourself to your parents. Say, I have to play Battleship. It's part of my math practice. Also, I want to point out that in Brain Pop, there was a game. If you watch the video, there was a game somewhere on that page too that was also about graphing a coordinate grid. So that was a lot of fun. I watched Damon play that a little bit, and it looked fun. So just saying. Okay. Good morning, Leilani. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have my Pear Deck ready for us. And bigger screen. I kind of want to turn my face off. I just don't know how. Just so I don't run into anything. Good morning, Gregory! Oh. Okay, so similar to yesterday, but this time I'm going to give you the points. I will say that this page is review. It's the same exact slide as the other slides we did yesterday, just to make sure we remember what these words mean. So the word in the chart says axis. Axes are those perpendicular lines that intersect at that perfectly 90-degree angle at each of those corners. And the intersection just means where they meet, that point. And the intersection in this coordinate grid is called the origin, because the origin is 0, 0. That means you're at the 0 spot for the x, the 0 spot for the y. And then coordinates just mean like where on the grid are you. So if I'm at the origin, I'm at 0, 0. If I'm at what I see on the screen, I would be at 3, 2. Over 3, up 2. A couple people missed the ticket out the door yesterday because you did the reverse. So maybe you did 2, 3, and that's a totally different spot. And in Pear Deck, it's kind of nice because I can see right away if your dots don't necessarily look just like everyone else's dots, and I can tell right away. So I saw a couple people, not too many, that missed yesterday. So it's glitchy on the Pear Deck audio. I know. I thought that too when I played it, so it's something new that Pear Deck is using. So we'll see how it goes if they correct that over time. Good morning, Jaden. Okay. This is just review also. There's the origin at that intersection of those at those axes, the x and y axis where they intersect. And just a reminder that in 5th grade, we're staying on this quadrant. This quadrant is where the positive numbers are. And so when you get to middle school and high school, you'll start learning about negative numbers because you can go into other directions depending on what the coordinates are. So just so you know, 5th grade, we're living there. And this is also review just to show you and remind you how to get to these spots. Getting to these coordinates means 2, 3 means I go over 2. So over on 2 on the x-axis and up 3. All right, and then this was practice, and I believe You have dots. This is the same slide as yesterday, just for you to practice with. So if I was going to drag the dots, I don't have dots, but on your screens you will. Come on. 2, 4 means I go over 2 and then up to the 4, and that intersection of those lines is where I'm going to put the dot. Okay? Good morning, Jocelyn. I'm glad you're awake to do everything. And Jaden. Okay. And then the other one is 5, 9. So over 5, up 9. And that's where that would be. Okay, so you'll do that again also in your Pear Deck as well. Oops, discard that. All right, now what's new today is I've placed the dots, and your job is to write in or draw in what the location is. So let's start with that red dot. So if I'm looking at the red dot, I'm going to give you guys a moment to tell me what is the X coordinate of the red dot, which means what is the first number of that red dot. And go ahead and put that in the chat box. So the red dot, what's the first number? All right, so if I'm using that red dot, I would go across first. So on that X axis, I'm going to go to the 4, and that's where the red dot is. So the first coordinate, oops, I did not turn on my marker, did I? Sorry about that. All right, so the red dot, the x-axis, it's at the 4. So going across first, over 4, then what would the y-coordinate be? Going up to the, you can't see because my face is in the way, but it's going up to the 2. So the red dot is located at 4, 2. Now I'm going to have you do the blue dot in your mind. And I'm going to challenge you to write the answer in the chat box. I'm going to wait for 30 seconds for the blue dot. And I want you to have in your mind and type it in for me, the parentheses. What's the first number? What's the second number? What's the x coordinate and the y coordinate of the blue dot? Practice writing it into the chat box. Ready? I know you're a bit confused. 10 seconds. Blue dot. Where is it? All right, you got it, Jasleen. So I would go over 7. So 7 is the first number. And then I would go up 5. So 7, 5. Do not go the reverse of that. If I did the reverse of that, I'm going to just show you where that would be. 5, 7 would be a totally different spot. If I did 5, 7. Okay? All right, Freddie? Okay. So let's do the next one. Ah, you can't see the blue dot because my face is in the way. The blue dot is on the origin. Just so you know. All right, red dot. I'll wait. Thank you for those who put those numbers in parentheses. Try the red dot now. All right, Freddie, you got this. All right, red dot. I'm going across first. So where am I going to stop? 8. Get my marker ready again. My goodness. Okay, sorry. Red dot. 8 is where I'm going. So across first, 8. Then I'm going to go up. I'm only going up 1 unit, so I know you can't see the number, but it's only 1 unit up. And I know you can't see the blue dot. It's hiding behind my face, but when you do the Pear Deck, you'll see it. It's right in the intersection, which is the origin, which is technically still a point on this grid. So what would I write for the blue dot if it's right on that origin? I've had it on another previous slide, by the way. All right, blue dot. You can't see it, but it's at 0, 0. All right. Now I'm going to show you this one, but you guys are going to do that one. I think you are getting the hang of this. I want you to practice on your own. This one I'm just going to show you one example, and then I'm going to let you do the rest because I have several points here, and I want to make sure you know what to do with this slide, okay? So if I'm looking at this grid, it's just like the other grid that we've been looking at, but now I have 5 things that I have to locate. So the first one would be the star. So I'm just going to do the star for us, and then you will do the rest of them. So I believe this is a drawing slide too, so you're going to write or type it on the lines. So star, I'm looking at the red star, and so I would go over 7. So I would have to type this in or write this in, over 7, and then up to the 9. And I would just write it in like that. Then I would go to the circle and do the same thing, figure out what it is, but you will end up with coordinate points on each one of those questions. Are there any questions about this slide? This is one of my favorite ones. Are we good? Okay. All right, so that's your practice. The last one is your ticket out the door. I have 2 dots. Where are they located? Okay. All right, so I think you've got this, guys. I really do. I think that it's day 2, and I think that hello. There we go. Okay. So I had 14 people yesterday do our pear deck, and I'm really excited because that's more participation than what we've been having. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you do today. I think you guys are going to rock it. Okay? You are going to do all of them. And I'm so glad to hear that this is feeling really easy for some of you. I will point out that I will be back online with you guys at 11 to do reading. And it's a pretty fun unit that we're doing with reading. It's about the ocean, but it's a research unit. So we're going to spend this week reading one of the texts in our Chromebooks of the digital text. And then the following week, we're going to do our own little research project. If you did not watch the video, the opener yesterday for reading, make sure you do that. And if you did not type in a question, please do that too, because what I'm building something for us with all of our questions, similar to like our question concept board that we used to have in the classroom. So if you have not already asked questions about the ocean, I encourage you to do that as well before we get online at 11 again. Okay? I plan to be reading with you a bit and teaching you a bit more about taking notes from the text when we come back at 11. Okie doke. Make sure if there's any other questions. I miss you all so much. And I'm hoping this is helpful. I have someone with a question, so I'll wait for a moment for them to ask the question. Thank you for finishing the slides, Gravy. The rock. Okay. Jaden, I see you have a question, but I haven't seen you write your question. I'll wait for you. Go back to number 10. Slide 10. This one. Bye, Gregory. You're welcome to go. I'm just kind of here to answer some questions. Waiting for Jaden and Jasleen to share what they're wondering about. Jaden, yes, you do all those slides. The beginning ones, if there's nothing to do, then they're just vocabulary. But the ones you're supposed to drag or draw, yes. Even yesterday, Jaden, I noticed that you did not do all the slides. I saw your name on there, but then you didn't actually type or write anything. So yes, all the slides. You can type it or you can write it on, like draw it on. Jesseline, do you still have a question? The other slide. This one? Or this one? See, there's a dot. My face was covering that one. we good? Jesseline, do you have a question about it? Before this one too? They're all very similar. Let me just scroll to this one is review. I don't know which one you need, Jesseline. You'll have it on the Pear Deck. How about you give it a try? And then we will, if you still have a question, we can do the Flipgrid thing. With the 0, 0, the one that I was covering with my head, this one. This one has the point on 0, 0. Or did you want to see the one that described it? So I can go back. This one. Maybe that's the one you were talking about. So the origin is 0, 0, and that's the one that's right there in the middle. But some of the other slides, like the blue one, the blue dot, where it was on 0, 0, it is in the corner because this is only the positive quadrant. So it's only the section of the numbers that are positive. So middle school, you'll have all the other pieces to it. Okay. So do you have a question about this one, Jesseline? Freddie, what's up? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out today. So if you have more questions, let's use the Flipgrid, okay? All right, good luck on the Pear Deck. I'm looking forward to seeing your responses. And let me know if you need help later. Bye. See you at 11.